Alright, episode fucking 9. Hold up, don't say anything yet. Having audio issues again. Alright, say something?
Check, 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 check.
There we go. Okay.
Picking you up too?
Yep, we're good.
Okay, alright.
Okay, buddy. We'll see when I
Okay.
go to review the episode and
Well, fucking review
I'm
it real
sitting
quick.
here talking to myself. Nah, it's good. I can see it actually picking up.
I
Sitting here talking to myself like I was last time.
know it.
Alright, projecting. Alright,
Episode
we're not talking
9.
about your fucking drive-in movie theater either.
Nope.
Now,
That's
a
not this
lot of
kind of
people
podcast.
like we were talking about, dude. A lot of people say that people are projecting, and a lot of people do it, but I don't think they know what it means or what it actually is.
Or they even realize that they're doing it.
A lot, yeah. I know that I did not realize it until I started like really thinking about or really kind of learning about defense mechanisms and shit like that because that's what it is. It's a defense mechanism where okay, I'll give you the verbatim. Projection is a psychological defense mechanism where individuals attribute their own unacceptable thoughts, feelings, or motives to another person. It was first introduced in psychoanalytic theory by Sigmund Freud. Projection serves as a way to protect the ego from discomfort or anxiety. Rather than confronting challenging emotions or impulses, a person externalizes them, shifting the burden to someone else. That's not an all-inclusive meaning though, because we had just talked about how some projection can be good, and we can kind of get into that here in a little bit. But a lot of the biggest, like one of the biggest things, right, is like when someone is in a relationship. I've seen this happen too many times. It's super common. But someone's in a relationship and say one of the parties is cheating on the other, and their first reaction when confronted about it is to assume that the other person is cheating.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh well, no, it ain't me, it's you, kind of thing, and
Right.
it's like immediately pushing the blame off onto someone else because you don't want to deal with what you've been doing or what you've done.
Or still doing.
Or still doing, yeah.
Some
Um,
people don't. Some people don't learn.
I mean that's very true. Sometimes it's hard to learn your lessons. You gotta learn them the hard way, the long way, as as I would like my PB and J. But anyway, like the majority of the time, like the reason why people project like emotion and feelings on the other people is to protect their own ego,
Right.
and it's like a lot of people have this. Once you get more into um, identity and stuff like that, you have this connection with your ego that you don't want to really let go of, and you don't want other people to define it for you. And so you have this kind of intrinsic thought that you can never do any wrong. And that's just not the case, right?
Yeah. Right.
And then like there's like the kind of it all kind of rolls into one, but avoiding responsibility for your actions, like we were talking about. It's much easier to push the blame onto someone else for
Right.
things that you've done than it is to own up to what you've done and how it's affecting
Right.
people around you.
And deal with it.
Yeah.
Well, I found a lot of people that also do it, like, see it like that, like, with the excuses of, well, you did this and that, like, trying to justify their projection. Like, they probably don't even realize they're projecting, you know?
Yeah.
But they're trying to justify the actions by projecting.
Yeah, actually, a good example without going into super detail and, not putting my business out there. But there was a time in a previous relationship where this other person had really wronged me in like a very big way. And I had also done something that wasn't as detrimental to the relationship. And so when this person was confronted about it, they were like, "Says the person that did X, Y, and Z."
Right.
So it's kind of it's a shifting blame game. It's like
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to admit that I did this, and so let's point out everything that you did instead.
Right. Let's talk about your flaws.
There's one
Which,
person in particular that needs to watch this
yeah, which, I mean, in a way, is like a form of like being narcissistic. You know, I probably said that way wrong. Too many S's and C's, but
No, that's it. You got that right.
yeah, like in a form of being that. Because like, okay, well, if you're mad at me, then we need to talk about what you've done too, as like a form of control
Yeah, and then
to make
like
them feel bad, so that you're not the bad guy.
yeah, because it's easier for like if you do something wrong, it's easier for you to point out someone else's flaws and help them with that to make it seem like you're the hero.
Right.
Like
Right.
it's like if you fuck me over and then you try to point out some shit that I've done and then I start getting all up in my feelings about it, then you could
Mm-hmm.
be like, "Oh, well, no, it's okay," and you can comfort me, and now you're the hero.
Yeah.
And it's like, "No, we just completely went off topic and didn't talk about the things
Right.
that we needed to talk about in the first place."
Yeah. Thanks for projecting your feelings and making me feel bad, and now you're trying to make it right for what I've done.
Yeah, you're trying to make it seem like what I've done is worse, and instead of just owning up to whatever. And
Right.
but yeah, avoiding responsibility for your actions, big thing, the big reason why you see projection a lot, especially nowadays too, because people don't want to take responsibility for what they've done.
Right. No, a lot of people don't. They
Yeah,
want to just do it and then move on.
yeah, pretend like it never happened, or
And with that being said, I don't think that a lot of people also realize that a lot of your words and actions have consequences or can have consequences.
yeah, that's very true.
And this
Um,
is why I really wanted to talk about this one. So I can go very deep on how people fucking project or flip the script because they think that they can just avoid the responsibility, you know, especially over the internet.
yeah, the internet is like a whole new world
Yeah,
when it comes to
which
emotional intelligence.
given like I can text you whatever, you're never going to know my true intention or like attitude behind what I typed out unless I tell you. So you're going to perceive that as however you perceive that.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if it is very evident that you were like in an argument on the internet and that person is full on trying to avoid responsibility, there's still consequences. Still can be consequences.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially when your words are misconstrued into something
Mm-hmm.
else. This is
Mm-hmm.
why I'm very like if I ever reply to, or well, not if, but when I reply to confessions, I'm very deliberate in the things that I say because I know that a lot of that stuff, obviously, it's very important to people,
Right.
and one wrong word or phrase that can be misunderstood can send
Right.
someone over the edge, you know?
And yeah, and not even just that, but like they could have put that in there and not wanted somebody to reply. So still goes back to the I say the wrong thing or it
Yeah.
sounds the wrong way, you know. But especially when you're on a big social media, bro, like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I mean all these fucking apps, bro. And you're just saying whatever, doing whatever, not taking responsibility. You're projecting your feelings because somebody said something you didn't like. So now you have to flip it around instead of dealing with it. Now everybody else on social media that sees that is looking at you like, "Really, bro? Like
Yeah.
that's how you are as a person?"
Well, and I think it's very important to like put out there. It's it's okay to want to like tell people how you feel. Like that's perfectly fine.
Right.
But
I'm not saying don't do that, but
you also have to be ready for the um the repercussions of how people are going to react, right?
mhm. Mhm.
Same with this. Like this is why we don't put a whole lot of our own personal viewpoints in certain topics into this podcast, because it's not that we're not willing to deal with those consequences or the way people react, but that's not
It's
what
just
this is
not about that
for.
right. Yeah, it's not about that right now.
Yeah, that's completely beyond the scope of what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, y'all want to, personal one between us, then, that will be literally that will be what the name of that episode will probably be.
Yeah, that way people are like aware
Right.
of like, hey, this is very opinionated.
Mhm. I feel like this is a good spot to say it because I have neither one of us have said anything in Discord, Twitter, or anything about what season 2 is. So
Oh
let's get
yeah,
a little bit off topic here since we're talking about personal experiences. We decided episode 10 being the end of season 1, and he said, "What are we going to do for season 2?" And I said, "Why don't we get personal?" And we've gave him the how-tos, the things you deal with. We've put a little bit of our own input in it, things we've experienced. But why don't we just straight up season 2 therapy sessions
yeah, completely
where we
off the
come in here?
script, and
hmm We come in here and we talk about something even from 5 years ago, yesterday, today, whatever. So, and I've been telling y'all to be ready for season 2. Be ready for season 2.
yeah, season two is definitely gonna be. I'll still do the kind of, because we have a week in between episodes, so I'll still do like the topics thread thing, but it's gonna be
Right.
more of a hodgepodge of stuff that I'd like to mention versus
Yeah. It's
what
going to be a
what our
lot
main
of,
doing is like definition and like the how and why and
yeah.
stuff.
It'll be a lot more of things that we've gone through. Also, I feel like it's just a good part to like show everybody that we do relate to some of the things they could be going through.
Yeah, and as of right now, um, I think 10 episodes is a good season. That's like between like 10 and 15 hours of a person's life if they
Right.
if they're watching this consistently. So um, we've got 9 to 10 episodes to get out whatever we need to get out.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
I,
yeah, needless to say.
that's another reason why we're ready. We want people to give us feedback. Give as much feedback as you possibly can, please.
Yeah. So yeah, needless to say, buckle up for season 2. It might get a little deeper than usual.
Yeah, it might hit you a little harder than uh, than
Yeah.
than the more informative stuff that we've been doing here in season one. So
Mm-hmm. Before we get back on topic, don't I don't want to say don't feel bad for us, but like I'm not gonna be mad if you reach out to me about something that I talk about, but at the same time I don't necessarily need it because sometimes we might be talking about something we've already dealt with and we're just gonna talk about how we felt in the moment.
yeah, that's a good point too. We're not here for people's pity. But
Exactly. Yeah, that's a better way to say it.
we're here to express that like we deal with the same shit that other people deal with,
Right.
and our viewpoints on how we deal with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, season two, little sneak peek, little sneak preview of what's gonna
Buckle
happen.
in. I'm gonna cry again on episode 3.
I'm probably cry on a bunch of those episodes, to be honest.
Nah, they're gonna get deep. They're gonna get deep. But yeah, back on topic. Back on topic. It was just a good point to slide that in there.
No, you're right. You're right. Where's we at? All right.
Coping with anxiety.
Yeah. So how they're why people project um, coping with their own anxiety. It sort of kind of ties into avoiding responsibility, but that's not always necessarily the case. Sometimes things that people are dealing with internally can be too much, and so they may be willing to take responsibility for their actions, but they may also be overwhelmed
Right.
with the amount of stress that comes with.
Yeah. And that's a big one where I see that people would not even realize that they're doing it.
Yeah, because it's
You know.
like I said, it's a defense mechanism, and it's built into your psyche. It's not something that you train really. But
Right.
if you grow up in a household in which this happens a lot, then you're gonna instinctively get this skill to be able to project your feelings and thoughts onto someone else.
Right.
Um, Another big one is to reinforce worldviews. Um, Projecting their thoughts and their belief systems or assumptions onto others, even when they're not quite right, just to reinforce how they feel. A good example is religious viewpoints. You see this a lot. I mean, I cannot explain to you how much you see this when it comes to religion. Um, People picking apart your life based on their beliefs to try to
Right.
get you to believe what they believe.
Which is so wrong.
It's it's definitely not the right way to go about it.
Right.
That's not to say that there's better. I mean, there are better ways to introduce someone into a belief system, but going up to someone and saying, "Hey, you're a sinner, and I know you are, and you're gonna burn in hell if you don't believe this," that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, now I really don't care about anything you have to say. Matter of fact, get the hell out of my face.
Yeah. And the thing is though is like it's built that sort of way of coming at people, especially strangers, is kind of built to scare them, and using fear as a tactic to strengthen this belief system into someone else. And I
Right.
understand why that happens, because when you feel so passionate about something and it works for you, you want to share it. And that's
Right.
fine. But at the same time, you have to understand how you're affecting someone else's life.
Yeah.
You can ease a person into um, introducing them into a belief system that may or may not work for them.
Right. Exactly.
You don't have to straight up Jehovah's Witness someone
Right.
and go up to their door with a nice little polo and saying, "Hey, God's
For
here
me to
for you."
answer it, for me to answer it and tell you that I don't believe in God.
But religion aside, that's like one big thing that you see a lot. A
Yeah.
big form of projection that you see a lot.
Yeah. Well, you
Um,
see it in politics too. I mean, you see it everywhere.
yeah, actually, yeah, political viewpoints are a big part too,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to certain laws. And um, I think
Yeah.
I think reinforcing worldviews is a big thing that's happening now, as opposed to 10 years ago, because there's a big shift in global identity.
Right.
And well, especially in the United States, right? I can only really speak for the United States because that's sort of what I keep up with. But there's a big shift in our identity as a country, and it has become very split into more individual ways of thinking. And so everyone wants to be heard, and they want the way that they believe to be the truth.
Right.
And internally, the more people that believe what you believe, the more truthful it is, even though that may not be the case.
Right.
For example,
I mean,
people,
that's at least how you're gonna feel.
yeah, but a good example is like people believed, and I'm not going to argue about this. I'm just going based off of what science has pushed out there. People believed for a very long time that the world was flat. Now we know that it's not.
Yeah.
That's all that I'm saying about that. You can connect those two together. That this is not up for debate on this podcast.
Right.
Drop a confession if I made you feel some type of way
But I
about
mean,
flat Earth.
look, that was a big thing of people, projecting to reinforce their worldviews.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
they were constantly arguing about, oh, well, this and that, and if like, I'm not gonna give no examples. Everybody lived through it. Everybody in America lived through it. We all fucking seen it. We've all heard it. But yeah, they were like, to the point, like you were saying, like enough people believed it, so it must be true.
Yeah. And
You know.
that's not the right way to go about life.
Mm-hmm.
Just all always question everything. Everything.
Yeah.
Come up with your own answers. Like I
Right.
teach my kids this, I teach my friends this. You don't have to take someone's opinion for, truth
Yeah.
because you trust them. It's okay to still trust them and not agree with everything that they say.
Yeah. Now, I mean, like, to an extent, don't let the other person's beliefs determine your friendship.
Exactly. Like now,
Like, I might not like who Steven voted for president, and I know you didn't vote, but that doesn't matter. It's what matters is the fact that we can talk about it and not argue about it, and we can still be friends about it. To an extent, right? Because obviously, if you were racist, then like, fuck you, you're racist. But that's a different story.
so with that being said, right, you have to learn the difference between what's morally right and what is right for you
Right.
because sometimes that's different.
Yeah.
I would hope that everyone has a pretty strong moral compass, but that's not always the case.
No.
But, moving on, there's like a few different types of projection that, we've really talked about kind of why people do it. But there's a few different types. One being what people see, what songwriters sing about, what
Mm-hmm.
people see in relationships way too often. Um, Shit like that, and that is neurotic projection. This is, like I said, this is what people mostly imagine when they think about projecting, and it occurs when we credit someone else with undesirable emotions, thoughts, or behaviors. For instance, someone who is being dishonest may believe that those close to them are deceitful. So if I sit here and I'm constantly lying to Alex, in my mind, I'm going to immediately think that everybody else is lying to me.
Right.
And the biggest reason why that happens is because I don't want to admit that what I'm doing is wrong.
Yeah.
And it's not just about dishonesty too, right? It could be about a multitude of things. Drinking. If I'm constantly drinking or around alcoholics or doing drugs or whatever, I'm going to surround myself with people that do that, and everybody that comes around me, I'm going to assume that they do that,
Right.
even though that may not be the case. That's a stretch, but it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what else, right? What else?
Yeah, I mean, like-minded people find like-minded people.
Yeah, birds of a
So,
feather flock together, so they say.
right.
Um, so yeah, that's like a big one, right? Like that's you can look out into the world without even trying and really find that because
Right.
it's so common and it's the first one that we're really used to, and like everybody's a little neurotic nowadays,
Yeah.
whether we want to believe that or not.
Yeah. I mean, you are who you network with. You know.
Exactly.
That's
Um,
then if you don't think that, then like step back from the people you network with and see that you were like the people you network with.
oh yeah, Cairo, appreciate that. The next two, right? I'm gonna we're both probably gonna butcher the names because they're spelled very similar and they're said very similar. Uh, but complementary or complementary.
Yeah, they are like I guess they are pronounced the same, but one is Complementary, and the other one is Complementary.
Yes, and yeah, they are pretty much pronounced the same. Give me a second.
Right. They are different.
But complementary, spelled with an E, happens when people believe that other people hold the same belief systems. Um, Again, another one that happens a lot that we kind of sort of assume that people, if they're around you, that they hold the same viewpoint.
Right.
But for instance, a family member who practices a specific religion may assume that others in the family maintain the same beliefs that they do, and so their entire lives and their entire ways to uh, move about those relationships are going to all be based on that fact of like, hey, we have the same beliefs.
Right.
When again, that may not be the case.
And then it kind of I don't want to say it fucks them up like that bad, but it kind of fucks them up when they find out that they don't.
Yeah, and it puts a
Then
lot of
you
pressure on
know.
the other people too, just because
Right.
if me and you are always around each other and you are acting as if I believe the same thing you do, and I know that, now there's a pressure on me to be like, well, do I tell them? Do I not? Um,
Right.
can I talk to them about certain things?
Right.
It makes it hard on everyone. And this is something that, like, I don't think a lot of people really realize that they do. And then the next one is very similar too, but instead of belief systems, it's abilities. And I think this is the one that I do most often because I'm very aware that people have different belief systems, but I'm not always as aware that people don't hold the same ability that I do,
Hmm.
or the same, like, abilities as in not just physical, but like emotional and intelligent ability.
I mean, yeah, there's that endless. Which, in that case, I have just building what we've built here. I've had to remind you a couple of times about that.
Yeah, that's very
So,
true.
so there's some proof in the pudding. I've seen it.
And vice versa too. Otherwise, I wouldn't have asked you as much help as I have.
Right.
But yeah, like, it's not. It's sometimes not easy to, like, catch yourself when you do this. But you like this, like, the more self-aware you become, the easier it gets
Right.
to, especially when you have these concepts kind of already in your mind. But like, this happens a lot when, like, fathers to their sons, like their dad played football or baseball in high school or whatever,
Yeah.
and so
So
they
you think your
immediately want
son's
them to
gonna be
do it too.
good, right? You think they're gonna be good at it.
This, yeah, like they have this innate ability to do what
Yeah.
they have done, And it's also a way to vicariously live through your children, which also isn't a really good way of living either.
Right. I mean, I kind of catch myself with that with the whole gaming PC community. I see it a lot because it's like I built my shit, everything that I know I've taught myself, with the exception of a few things of like people showing me or me looking it up. But when people come to me and they're like, how did you do that? How did you do this?" And I'm like, "You've had a PC for this long and you don't know how to do that?"
Yeah.
You know? And it's like, I don't want to say it was necessarily that I assumed they knew, but I do question the fact, especially when it's coming from somebody who did also build their computer, you know?
It. I still kind of say that it's one and the same, because it is
Yeah,
at the very least it is kind of an assumption of like, okay,
right,
you have this same thing, you've gone through this same thing. Why haven't you learned this? You know?
right. But, I mean, I guess you also got to think about it like, let just a random example, probably has never happened, but, I have an issue with my RAM on my PC and I fix it. And then 2 years later, Manic has never had an issue with his RAM, but he's like, "Dude, I don't know what the heck's happening." And he tells me this is what's happening, and that's what happened to me. And I'm like, "How did he not know that?" Because it's never happened to him.
Yeah. That's that's one of the biggest things that I think people need to be aware of is that your experiences are just that. They're yours.
Yeah,
And so when you're dealing with someone else, you have to realize they haven't
you
gone through
can't.
the same things. They haven't
Right, you can't
felt
just
the same
assume.
way. Yeah, you can't just assume that people have gone through this just because you have.
Yeah, you're you and I'm me.
And I think, actually thinking about it, now that I mentioned that, I've done that here recently, is kind of assume that someone knows how to navigate uh, like a personal relationship when they
Just
really
because you
haven't.
know how.
Yeah, just because
Right.
I've done it a lot doesn't necessarily mean that they have.
Right.
But in that scenario, right, like the other person was very, very open and honest about saying, hey, I don't know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that takes a lot, like especially when it's something like that. That takes a lot to say. You know.
yeah,
Like, dude, I'm struggling with that. Like, show me.
yeah, yeah, it hurts to ask for help sometimes, man.
Oh yeah, because I mean, you want to figure it out on your own, do it yourself. At least a lot. Well, I don't want to say a lot of people, but me personally, I do. I'm like, no, I'd rather figure it out myself
That
to an extent.
I was about to
If I
say,
need, if
the
I'm depressed, I'm calling Steven. Don't get me twisted. But
yeah, I think a lot of people who are more independent in a lot of aspects of their life, maybe not like completely independent, but just more
right,
independent, would like to rather would rather like try to figure out
battle,
things on their own.
right, battle themselves. Yeah, I mean, like I said, if I'm, going through something, I'm gonna call you instantly. Or maybe not instantly, but whenever I've had enough or I can't figure it out. But I'm not gonna call you to be like, "Hey, my PC's broken."
Yeah, I mean, there's been multiple times you've called me about your car and shit and whatever, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
all right, here's a list of 5 things that it could be.
right.
You know,
But see, in that
what have
sense
you
too, it's
checked
like,
off, right?
right, in that sense too, it's like I know you know more about mechanics than I do. So like, yeah, let me call my boy. Like, alternator, no alternating. You know?
Car no go. What do?
Right.
It's very
And it's like I
broad.
could I can fix it myself or like switch out the parts myself, whatever, but I just probably don't know what the hell is causing the issue.
Yeah,
You know?
and
So I
it's
mean, if you take anything away from that, like ask for help. We say it all the time, dude. We say it all the time. We cannot say it enough. Ask for help. Regardless of what it is, dude. Regardless. If it is putting air in your tire and you don't know how to do it, which that is a crazy thing to not know, ask for help. There's no such thing as a dumb question.
There's really not.
Yeah,
And
there's
this,
only such
look,
things as dumb answers.
this is coming from someone who has experienced someone telling me there's no such thing as a dumb question, and then I ask the question, and they'll say that's the dumbest fucking question I've ever heard. What's the
But
next
here's the
question?
answer.
Yeah. So I've experienced that before, but no, genuinely, right? If you don't know something, don't be afraid of asking someone to like help you
Yeah.
figure it out.
Especially when it comes to your personal growth.
Yeah, with personal growth, it's very big.
Yeah.
I didn't know that those are still on.
Still got that shit pulled up.
It's fine. Oh, it's
So, before we get to these questions that you have here, right?
mm-hmm.
Because we talked about it before we started, and I do want to mention it on the podcast. I'm just making sure that there's nothing else we can add to that. No, the projection doesn't always have to be a bad projection. It doesn't have to be a negative projection, because you can still project good feelings. It might not seem like you're doing that, but I mean, like, think about like when you bought your car or when you bought your house, you bought something that you really enjoy. You called your buddy, you called your mom, you called your brother, your whoever, and was like, "Look at this! Look at what I got." You're projecting good feelings,
Yeah.
good emotions, yeah, positive feelings, positive emotions. And
Yeah.
it's crazy how much I see it, just from you alone, how much I see it, especially when you're going through some shit and you call me and you're like, bro, and then I'll say some shit that you would say to me, and then you're always like, sound just like me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you've been projecting all this positive knowledge onto me, bro. I can only project it back. I'm gonna give you what you give me.
And that
So yeah, it
that
doesn't.
sort of goes back to the fucking episode 3.
Right.
Wait, that was
Every-
relationships, right? Like giving back what you get, whether it be good or
Right.
bad.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
yeah,
None of
it's
that. None of that 50-50. Don't give me 50% of you if you want 100% of me. Give me 100% of you, and I'll give you 100% of me. And if all you can give me is 50, I'll make up the 50. That's a relationships episode, but I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah.
You know,
If you want to know more about that, go
go
back.
watch episode 3 again.
Yeah.
I'll start crying right now.
Yeah,
No.
before we get too deep into this, or into the rest of it, right? Like, I just want to give like a big fucking thanks to everybody who's been listening and watching, because I do keep up with the analytics for Spotify and for YouTube.
Hmm.
Twitch, not so much. Twitch is mainly just to get,
It's kind of hard to see it.
yeah, it's mainly just to get the stream going, and to let you guys have like a week's, or maybe 2 weeks preview of what's going on if you want to watch the stream. But
Right. Right.
no, I
Watch it early.
yeah,
It's like a
watch it
members
early.
only, but for free.
Exactly, right? But no, like, thank you guys, because like I said, I've been watching the shit, and
Oh yeah.
it's
And he
definitely
tells
taken
me.
off more than I expected it to.
Yeah, and he tells me about it. I don't know. While we're talking about that, I don't know, like, progress wise what you had in mind for this. I was just going into it and just like we just do it regardless of what happens.
Well,
Because at some point somebody's gonna see it.
that's the thing too,
You
is
know.
I didn't really have expectations of it, other than to just like we said in earlier episodes,
Just
if we
do
can
it.
help one person, that's enough.
Right.
But the support that I've seen has definitely exceeded any
Yeah.
expectation that I've ever had.
Right. There you go, projecting positive. There you go, projecting positively.
Oh, and you know what? While we're talking about positive projection, right? This is sort of a metaphysical kind of aspect to it, not so much a psychological aspect, but when you wake up in the morning and you tell yourself like, "Hey, this is gonna be a good day," or "Hey, this is what we're gonna get done today," that's another form of projection.
Right.
Manifestation is just as much projection as psychological
Exactly.
projection.
Exactly. I just feel we got to shine light on the positive side of projecting because
Yeah, it's not all bad.
it
It's
doesn't.
definitely
Yeah,
not
it
all
doesn't have
bad.
to be all bad. We see the negative more, you know,
Yeah, because most of
because
the time it
especially
affects us
when
more.
right, especially like you're in the store, you accidentally bump into somebody, you say sorry. They've had a bad day, so they're going off on you. Now they're projecting their emotions onto you. You see that way more often than you see some random person at the light sees that you got new tags in the window and they're like, dude, nice car. Like, you don't see that a lot.
No, you don't.
You don't see that.
And with that being said, right, I'm glad you kind of brought that up because that leads me to another point. Someone had told me like one of the best things that you can do to like throughout your day, and it's hard. It's hard for me, but she said it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to start doing that. But every day, give out 3 compliments. It doesn't matter what it's for, but
Right.
just a random person or maybe a coworker, whatever. Just be like, hey, I
Say
like
anything.
I like that shirt you're wearing, or
Somebody just
whatever it
did
may
that to me
be.
at the gas station for my shirt.
And
This literal shirt.
dude, it first of all, it makes them feel good. You don't know how good or bad of a day that they've had.
Right.
So just a small exchange like that
Yeah.
it can make or break someone's life. It really can, and that's a
Which,
beautiful form of positive projection.
which honestly, when I pulled up at the gas station earlier, it was like, all right, I'm gonna go get me a drink. I'm gonna get me some non-mentionable, some nicotine. uh, uh, school had just let out. It was like 2:30, so I was like, man, this fucking store is gonna be just filled of all these high schoolers, bro. Like, I don't even want to walk in here.
Yeah,
And it
that
wasn't
store
just
is
just
right
the
down the
fact,
street from the high school
yeah,
too.
it wasn't mainly just that there was gonna be a bunch of kids in there. It's just like there's gonna be a lot of people, and most of them are gonna be these kids. And there's like three standing outside, so I'm like, okay, well, this is a small store. They usually only let two people in at a time when school's out, like two students at a time, just because it's a lot of people to watch. They don't always leave their backpack at the front. But I was like, man, I don't even want to walk in here. I don't even want to deal with them. As soon as I walked to the door, one of the kids is like, I like your Dragon Ball Z shirt. I was like, appreciate it, bro. And just kept walking. When I walked in, I was like, damn, and I was just talking shit about him too.
And see, that goes
I'm what's
that
wrong with me.
yeah, that goes to show you, man. Like your initial assumptions about something aren't necessarily what is gonna happen.
Right, right. And then when I was walking out, I was like, he ain't even see the back. Dude, I was being an absolute dick. Like he didn't even see the back; he just seen the front. So when I was walking out, I was like, he's gonna see the back and be like, damn, that shirt really is fire. He didn't say that, but I know in his mind he was probably thinking that.
Yeah, dude. But no, it's such a good way, and it's a small way to connect with the world around you, to
Hmm.
just help uplift people.
Yeah.
And it's so small, and realistically, doing it is very insignificant, but the
But to
results
them,
of
it
it
might
are
not be.
very impactful.
I was about to say, yeah, and like to them, it might not be insignificant at all.
Well, I say
You know?
insignificant as like this takes nothing for you to do,
Yeah, it ain't no
right?
life or death for you to be like, I really like the shirt you're wearing, bro.
Yeah, like that's not gonna
You
make
know?
or break your day, but it could make someone
Hmm.
else's day.
Well, also not to mention, like when you're complimenting something that they're wearing, they could probably feel like a little embarrassed wearing that stuff in public, but they're toughing it out,
Yeah,
thugging it out. Like, I'm gonna wear it out anyway. I really like this.
and then
Just for
someone says
somebody
something
else to
like
be
that, and it's
like,
like, holy fuck, they like it
yeah.
too.
Just for somebody to be like, dude, nice Dragon Ball Z shirt. Like, dang, you fuck with this show too? I mean, who doesn't? Who hasn't watched Dragon Ball Z? But
At least a single episode, you know.
right. But still, I mean, you know, I did that a lot at one of my last jobs. This guy came in like I think it was like every Thursday, bro, and he always had on these short sleeve button up like Hawaiian type shirts. and I would see him all the time. And I'm like, bro, this man always just stepping out in these fire ass shirts, bro. So one day I was just like, dude, every time I see you, you have a different one on. I've never seen the same one twice. And they are always so fucking cool. Like, where the hell are you getting these shirts? Because, God, they look cool. And he was like, oh, appreciate it, bro. I have enough to wear one every day for an entire 3 months and not have to repeat the same shirt. I was like, holy shit, bro.
Bro
You got
really
that many
likes
in your
those
closet.
shirts.
Bro, really be stepping out in them though, and they look so good because it's never just like floral print. It's always like a floral print or like some flamingos on it or just like a plain Jane plaid, and they always look so good, bro. It's never just like a basic like, okay, it's a nice shirt. No, it's always like, dude, that's a really nice shirt. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. And that, chat just made a good point. Um, when you give people those compliments, right? And like you said, maybe they're a little nervous about walking out, or maybe they have like strong attachment to whatever they're wearing or whatever they have, and they have like very strong memories to it, and it's like, holy fuck, they see it too, right? It's not just me.
Right,
And then it helps them bring
right,
back those good feelings that they once had.
exactly. Hey, and for all I know, me telling him that day, that could have been a brand new shirt. He was like, "All right, this ain't what I'm used to. It feels a little tight on me. I'm not very comfortable in this shirt." Now he's walking out the store going, "Man, I don't give a shit. This shirt fits me right.
Yeah,
I
I look good
got a little
today.
bit of muscle showing. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?" He was feeling right. A week later, that guy owns a restaurant. A week later, he was just like, "Hey, come down to my restaurant. I'm gonna give you a free meal."
Hell yeah, dude.
Never went, never took them up on it. I never took anybody up on it because they were always just like weird restaurants that like I don't really eat that kind of food. So
Should have done it, man. You should have fucking
yeah,
stepped out your
there was
comfort
only
zone.
dude. Nah, there was one guy that he was making like I think he did like some gyro stuff, and I don't really like gyro. I've tried it before, and I'm not big on it. Like it's not disgusting. I'm just not big on it. But one of the guys that owned a Mexican restaurant offered it to me because uh, doing my job, you know. He's like, every time I come in here, you're always super helpful. You get me exactly what I need, and I'm like, it's my job, bro. Like, he's like, yeah, but the last guy was always a dick about it, and I was like, well, let's be honest, the last guy was on meth, but, but
I
like, it's
mean,
my job to help you. You're always super cool with me. I'm gonna give you the same energy you give me, you know. He was like, you and your wife come down here and get something. So I look up the menu, and the wife said no, she's not really big on Mexican food, so. But I was gonna take him up on his offer. I was actually gonna go and give me a free meal and be like, "Yo, this guy sent me."
man, I'm big on if someone offers me something, especially if it's like food or like something that they make.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, dude, I'll go try it at least once. Mainly because
yeah,
it's like, all right, you took the time out of your day to think about me and to offer this to me.
yeah.
You know, in my mind,
The
it's
one,
like, yeah, at least I can do is maybe like fuck up my taste buds for a little bit. You know.
yeah, the one guy that I actually took up his offer on was he had a food truck at Louder Than Life. So when I went, I was like, "Yeah, let me go find his food truck." That was a banging ass quesadilla, bro. It wasn't no like Taco Bell quesadilla, no Chili's quesadilla. Nah, this, bro. I'm talking about this quesadilla was like this fat, like that fat. That shit was so good. And I didn't pay $1. All because he came in and was like, this I know this is very last minute and y'all probably don't have it, but I need this. And I was like, oh, you mean this? He was like, yes, how much do you have? And I was like 2, 3 boxes. I'll give them all to you. He's like, yes, I want them all. So
Man's got a thick ass quesadilla for it.
yeah, I mean, he also just got lucky that it wasn't one of the products where it was like they're not sending us a lot, so limit the people, you know.
Right.
So he got lucky because there was a period where we were limiting people on getting yuca because they weren't really sending us a lot, and a lot of other customers needed it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one company that specifically buys that, and we're willing to just give it all to them because nobody else does.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like you said, it's like those here and there people that come in. You don't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
know if they're repeat customers or not.
Yeah. That's the thing too, you know.
That's
Which on the topic of the Yucca, there's a lot of people that were like projecting. Since we're on the projecting episode, right? A lot of people projecting when we had that whole thing with the Yucca because they would come in and be like, "How come every time I come in here I can only get 2 boxes?" Like trying to make me mad about it too, and I'm just like, because you're not the only you're not the only restaurant that buys it. They're not sending us a lot. Like what do you want me to do? Take your 2 boxes and get the hell out of my store.
like, look,
Now I'm
man.
mad.
Yeah, look, man. Like, I'm more mad that you're like, you think that I should just reserve this whole pallet for you, bro. Like, no.
Right. Now I didn't say that to him, but I did tell him like it's not my doing. This comes from above me. If you really have a problem, you can go to the office and you can talk to them about it. But like I'm doing what I was told, which was I don't think it was literally 2 boxes, but even then, let's just say it was. I'm sorry that I can only give you 2, but I only have 20 and I have 13 other restaurants that need this, okay?
Yeah.
And this ain't Outback Steakhouse coming here to get supplies for the restaurant, bro. This is a local restaurant coming to get stuff for their local restaurant. So,
Yeah, bro. Like,
yes, we're going to save it for
if
them.
they don't have this and this is their like specialty thing, then they might not make rent for the month type shit.
Right, especially when it's like an owner that comes in all the time and buys 3 boxes every time. Like, all right, bet we can keep you 3 boxes every Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, I mean
Don't come in here.
that kind of answered the first question really. Like, when is the time that you have ever projected onto someone? I think
Plenty.
Yeah, I think one big for me, I do it actively, and I do it for the right reasons. So it's both a positive and negative. But
Right.
I tend to hang out with younger people, and it's because that when I was young, I didn't have a really a guide or anything when I was growing up. So now I gravitate more towards younger people to be that sort of like guide or that leader figure kind of thing. That way they don't get pushed into the wrong path like I did, or they're
Yeah.
just like stuck to leave it up to themselves.
Right, at least try to make that impact on their life.
No, you're good. You can. We're reading chat just so you know.
Yeah, I mean, I read it, I just don't usually respond to it.
Yeah, it depends on what it is, but like a result to that usually because I've learned a lot over the years of I've made friends, I've lost friends, some have become best friends, some have become brothers. um, the biggest thing that I've learned, right, is one, not everybody learns the same, and I think that's
Hmm.
sort of a given, right? But like until you experience it and having to change your teaching style, you don't really understand it. And
Right.
two, you only know where you don't want to go. So all you can do is push them in a direction in which you would not want to go. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not right for that whatever path that is.
Yeah.
So you have to guide in a way that lets them choose. You can't be overbearing,
Yeah.
and that was sort of a time that I've kind of projected my own like thoughts and abilities onto
Beliefs.
someone else.
Right. Yeah. It's honestly, it's crazy throughout. This would be more of like an episode 10 thing because of what we have planned, but it's crazy throughout everything, all 9 episodes so far, of how much like I see more of in our relationship that it's almost like we put these topics in there not knowing that these are things that we've also done to each other.
Yeah, yeah, I've noticed it too.
Positively or negatively because
Yeah,
we've been through it. We have physically, and I cannot stress this enough, physically butted heads,
yeah,
and it hurt his face.
yeah. It hurt my face.
It
I was
hurt my face too.
I was
But
bleeding. My hips hurt.
yeah, my back was hurting.
It was somehow a pistol ended up out of your waistband and onto the floor.
On the floor, still in the holster, and I was asked to drive home.
Uh,
Yes, but we have like physically and mentally butted heads.
yeah, a lot
So
actually.
a lot more mentally. Physically was one time, but
Yeah, I don't think either of us are willing to actually like fight each other.
no, we've never gotten to that point. Now we've been to that point where it was just like fuck you, bro. I'll talk about it tomorrow, and then one of us be
Yeah,
like, hell no. Very recently, hell no, we ain't talking about it tomorrow. You brought it up, we're dealing with it now.
yeah,
You know.
yeah,
But I mean, that can kind of also answer the question of what was the result, because this is the result. We figured it out. We talked about it.
yeah.
You know,
And if we
let
don't,
bygones be bygones. If it was that kind of way,
yeah, if we don't figure it out, then it doesn't necessarily get put on a pause, but we kind of agree to disagree and then
right,
keep on going, you know?
right,
That's part of it.
yeah. But the result of you positively projecting is you saying I sound like you.
Yeah.
And I tell you every time, where do you think I learned it from? You know?
It's both a good thing and a
So,
bad thing. It so when I say that, right, it's like it makes me feel good thinking that like, hey, this person's actually learning something from me and I'm like teaching it in a way that they comprehend it.
right,
But at the same time, it's like, holy fuck, are they learning too much and are they gonna go down the same shit? They're gonna do the same shit that I've done. So
right.
there's like a fear behind it too, but
Yeah,
it it's one of those things where maybe that's more of an insecurity thing for me.
yeah,
Maybe I'm not
right.
like teaching it well enough or something, or you know.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess at the same time, when it comes to that, when you're teaching somebody something, I mean, do you ever really feel like you're a good teacher unless it's something that you've taught multiple times over and over and over, you know? Because it's not like you're in a classroom teaching math every day for 12 years, you know?
Well, it's also something that's not objectively true to everyone either.
Right,
You know, math is something that's very concrete. It's got a very strong foundation.
right,
Emotional intelligence and life experience is not that. Now, there may
right,
be certain things that work more often than others, but that doesn't make that for a strong foundation. Like it, it's still different. It's going to be different from everybody. There just might be similarities.
right. Well, if we're on the topic of that, I'll ask you the next question. Why do you think you even did it in the first place?
Uh,
I think I could
I
answer it for you from my perspective.
I think the biggest reason why I tend to gravitate towards younger people, like I said, is one I don't want people to go down the same path, and I don't want to say younger as in age younger either, because I've been around older people that are older than me age wise, but not as old as me emotionally,
Right.
and so that's what I mean by younger is just younger emotionally. Um,
Yeah.
but I've gravitated towards these people mainly because one, I don't want them to do the same things I did because I know how difficult it was for me to get through. Not to say that they're not
Right.
strong or anything, but what I went through is like tough.
Right.
Um, and two, it's I just have this really deep like want to help people,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always had that for like a long time. Even if it's like shit that I don't necessarily know, like if you're going through some shit that I've never gone through, I'm gonna be like, all right, well, let's learn it together. Fuck it, like I'm gonna be here to help you.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I think those are the two main reasons why.
Yeah. Now I think when I said I could answer for you in my perspective, I meant like you doing it towards me, and I think it's because I also know it's because I needed it, you know, and you were
Yeah,
at that point where you were like, I can show him something, you know, I know enough to help him,
Yeah. Especially early on in the beginning when we didn't really know each other as well.
Right. Yeah.
So
Now, I
that
mean,
initial like thing was like, yeah, it's like, man, all right, well, I can share a
right.
little bit, you know. I'll see how much you can take.
Right.
And then I fry your fucking brain and you're like, all right, hold
I
up,
need
stop.
5 minute. Yeah, 5 minute reset at minimum. Now, if I could answer all three of these, like projecting onto others for like a positive, right? And I do it all the time, and Cairo can vouch for this. Is with the Shitty Boys Discord, like trying to encourage everybody to do the things they need to do. Which part of that, not that they need to do it, but part of that is because I hear so much about how we weren't very supportive, we didn't do this and do that, but I'm also trying to get y'all to give everybody a reason because I still have the people who will do it without a reason, but that doesn't fall onto the rest of the people that I barely know. You know? So when I'm constantly like, yo, network, 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 I'm trying to positively project onto y'all the things that I do and the things that I know when it comes to content creation. The result so far is not so great for some people, but
Well, I
the
think
reason I did it in the first place is because I this is really the question I wanted to get to is because I personally don't care if I make it, but to see somebody else that I have supported from the beginning or care enough about make what they want out of it, that is good enough for me. That is literally all I want. I want you to be the better person than you were yesterday or today. It's the whole reason I do it in the first place. It's the whole reason we built the Discord, you know. And even our Discord, like even the Whispered Reflections Discord, is to try to help better everybody.
yeah, don't be like, yeah, like the biggest motto that we have is like, don't be comfortable where you're at because there's always
Right.
better.
Exactly. And that's I mean that's kind of something that like I don't want to say I struggle with it, but like I'm comfortable with where I'm at. I want better and I'm going for better, but at the point in time that I'm at right now, I'm fine with where it's at, you know. But
Yeah.
that's different than being content for the rest of your life, you know.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between being comfortable and settling. Because once you
Yeah.
start to settle, then it's like, okay, well, this is all that I'm good for. And so
Right.
I'm not going to even look for better
Yeah.
or try to do better. But
Yeah.
when you're
Which I mean,
comfortable, you're like, you're kind of in that state where it's like, all right, I've done X, Y, and Z. Now let me like try to master what I'm doing. Let me enjoy
right.
this for a little bit.
Right. I
And
think go back.
like that's fine. Yeah. And then
Right.
get back on track like you were probably what you were about to say is get back on
That's
track to getting better.
go back and do the things you didn't do, you know.
Or yeah, that too.
All right.
Like
Now, I mean, I've kind of lightweight fallen into content of where I'm at, like, but I mean that as in like I don't really like my job, but I'm fine with it being my job because of what it can do financially, for the biggest reason, financially, you know. But
I can agree with that from
like,
my perspective too.
right now, with the things that come with the financial, like positive, is the other things that it can help solve, you know. Wanting the things that I want that are gonna fill the void of emptiness, you know. Buying the things that are gonna that I want to buy, you know. It's not just about having adult money. It's you know
It's having adult playthings too, you know.
right. But at the same time, I that's
I
why I
could have
say
worded that better.
loosely. Yeah, that's why I say loosely on the content because like where I'm at right now on my job is not making the most that I could be making. But once I get to that point, I'm just gonna get better and better and better and better. You know. Now I can obviously only make so much because it depends on what I get, but I can make more than I am now.
Let me ask you this.
So
What's what's one thing that you think you could do to help you not feel like you're just settling and still stay on that path of like, hey, I'm getting better?
I don't know, because I'm definitely not feeling like I'm settling for it. I'm just, you know, like I said, I'm fine with where I'm at, but I know it's not going to be where I'm at in 5 years.
Okay, well then like switch the question. What's one thing that you can do that gets you on the path to where you think you'll be at in 5 years?
I just keep doing what I'm doing. I mean,
I mean, is
it's,
where you want to be versus where you're at different?
oh yeah, well, because where I'm at right now is on hourly, and I will be on commission as of next month.
Oh,
So,
I was mainly referring to like life in general, not really just work.
right. Oh, life in general. I mean, I got it all, baby. No. Confidence. Confidence, not cockiness. Just want you to know that.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things that I could work on personally for personal growth, but off the top of my head, I can't think about it. I'd have to get into a downward spiral for a second and think about all the things that I've negatively tell myself.
that's fair. I think
You
for
know?
me, if I had to answer the same question, I think for me, um, a big thing is just kind of putting myself out there more
Yeah.
to the world, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because like now I've done a pretty decent job with networking, especially where I'm at here. Um, but I've also maintained my small circle, which is fine because like you have like multiple circles, right? And like your most inner circle are the people that like your ride or die people, like those people that are gonna be there. But I think that I've struggled with kind of like getting to that next sort of like step of like
Right.
just networking with people that are like-minded and that kind of want similar things and maybe have advice for me that I can't come up with on my own.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the biggest things that I could definitely do, and then ask for more help.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking of networking, I could do more of it, but I just got so exhausted of networking with people that turned out to just be not so good people, you know?
Mhm. And
And
that's part of it
you
too, and
know,
that's what sucks.
yeah. So I mean, now I'm at that point where I'm just like, dude, I've gotten to know so many people, and then they do some foul shit. They talk shit about me behind my back instead of being an adult and telling me, I don't like this, I don't like that, or you know, Cairo knows what I'm talking about here. Come to me and say, I think you're lying, which why would I lie about anything that I've ever done in my life? I'm going to give you me, 100% of me every chance I can get. But that's why I struggle with networking. I'm tired of getting to know this person, regardless of whatever context, streaming, personal, whatever, just to be, wow, okay, so they were doing this the whole time. I don't like that. It's happened way too often and deterred me from just networking. Now it's like you got to network with one of the homies for me to network with you, you know?
Yeah, I get that.
Because if you're connecting with somebody that I know is like-minded with me, whether they have the same beliefs or not, it's like if you're networking with Steven and Steven's kind of fucking with you, I'm gonna probably fuck with you, you know?
You need that sort of like it's gonna sound bad, but you need
I need
someone
that
else to do the hard work first.
right, exactly. Like
It sounds
which
bad, but he knows what I mean.
right, yeah. Which like speaking of like I personally dealt with that when you met Charles, like when y'all met, because I was like I've known Steven for so long since I was what 16, 17.
Yeah.
Like we are close. Me and Charles are getting close. We've been hanging out a lot, and I'm like they're kind of similar. Like they're gonna be respectful because of a mutual, but I'm like I'm kind of worried if they're actually gonna be friends or not. Because I like if it comes down to it, I'm gonna side with the person that I'm the closest with But
Thinking about
I
it,
got him to.
you've done it
I,
multiple times, both with Charles and with Skinner.
yeah, and look, I put y'all together because like, hey, we're playing the game. Come join us. Or that with Charles, like, I'm over here hanging out with Charles. Come over, and then y'all just connect. I'm like, damn, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful that I did the networking, and then you just come in and you're just automatically like, oh hell yeah, we're friends now,
Yeah. And I
and
think
not even just like a mutual respect because of a mutual friend.
no, yeah,
Which
it's like it's you just make a new friend. Yeah,
right, which
it's
like
part
that's a
of
fine thing to have. Like don't get it wrong, that's a fine thing to have. There's people that Steven are friends with that have like one of them recently hit me up on Discord because of the whole feedback thing. But like this sounds very fucked up to say, but like I don't care to be his friend. I don't really know him. Now, if we became friends, that's whatever. I'm not, that's neither here nor there though. But like we don't have to be friends just because him and Steven are friends.
yeah, yeah. Same thing. Like
You
yeah,
can,
you go your own path. You make your own.
right,
You have your own circles, right? Like, and you get to let people into those circles as much as you want. That's the beauty about life is like you don't have to follow someone else's.
right.
That's not the point of it, right?
But it is a very beautiful thing to watch two of your friends become friends through
It
you.
is. It is
Right.
because you know that you, in some small way, it may not even be a big way, but you know that you have changed both of their lives somehow,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's
Oh
just
yeah.
by introducing them to each other.
Right. And it's crazy to think, like, since we're talking about like you and Charles becoming friends, it's crazy to even look back. I know this is like not on topic of projection, but
Mm. We
but
never stay
like
on
it's
topic,
crazy to
so
no, it's crazy to look back and think about like when y'all first like started meeting each other because of me and hanging out to literally like me hitting him up and being like, you trying to go to Missouri in October, and him not even question it and just be like, yes, let's go see our boy.
yeah,
Like, all right, bet.
that's kind of wild to think about.
It really is. And it's like it's crazy how deep that relationship got based on like when you compare it to how our relationship became so strong. You know,
Yeah,
because you look at us and we've been through years of hanging out to where we weren't very close for a long time, to like inseparable now. To where it's like I feel like at least from way outside looking in, I feel like you and Charles are pretty close. Like Charles could hit you up at any given time, and you'd be like, "Yeah, what's up, bro?"
yeah, yeah, definitely. And then same with Skinner, and I've never actually physically hung out with Skinner,
Yeah. Hell, you
which
got Skinner's number now.
I do. Yeah,
So, which I don't know if you have Charles's number or not, but
no, I don't.
yeah.
But if sorry, Skinner, but he would be changed to thing 2, and you would be changed to thing 3.
Yeah. I'm saying one, baby. But I mean, like, dude, it's such a beautiful thing to see, like watching your friends become friends instead of like, oh well, I'm hanging out with Skinner and like he hit me up first to play the video game, but like I'll play the game with you after this kind of deal. That's
Yeah,
such a awkward thing to have to deal with.
it's like instead of having to prioritize, like, all right, you come
Right.
first, you come second, right? It's a collective thing. Like, all
Everybody
right,
comes together,
yeah,
you know.
which
Which shout out my boy Charles. Love that man to death. That's my other brother. If y'all ever see Ghost Riff in the comments, the chat, where have you? That's our other brother.
yeah,
That's our boy. That's our little mountain boy.
it's funny too because we're slowly from the time that me and you like met and started really hanging out. We've slowly built this sort of group of people that I mean, not really thinking about it. We've built our own little community.
Our own little family, bro. You're
Yeah,
so cute.
that well, I mean, that's the thing too. Is like obviously all these other people they have you know, you know, relationships, they have families, whatever. But
Right.
at the end of the day, right, like they're still part of
Yeah.
this little group, and it doesn't necessarily define who they are. It's just a part of their life.
It's our second family.
Bro, just spaced.
Yes, because I don't know what you said, but it made me fucking think. Because you're talking about families. Literal families. I still have it. This man made this for me like 5 years ago, and it's on a Grey Goose plaque, mind you.
Yeah.
And I've been meaning to hang it up somewhere in here, but there's no nails, and also I'm tearing the wallpaper down still. So,
Dude, it's funny because every time I forget about that, I go to your house and I see it, or you'll mention it, and
And I'm like,
I'm like, holy shit! I
oh
made that.
yeah, I did. I do remember that.
Damn.
A whole lifetime together, bro, and it ain't even been a lifetime.
Yeah, man, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe that is a way that we've projected onto each other too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in a way we can definitely tie that into positive projection, you know?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's a very positive thing for me to tell you I'm coming out there on October to Missouri for you, and then the next message be Charles is also coming.
Well, I think for me, right, like sort of the meaning or the reason is because like I've never had a brother, and I was always the oldest,
Yeah,
and
you only got
so
sisters.
yeah, I've only had sisters, so they don't really understand anything from the male perspective.
Right.
And I mean, they try, right? Like especially my youngest sister, but
Yeah, like
uh,
skateboarding now and shit,
yeah, I mean, she
which
tries
is
to
cool
see
as
where I'm coming
fuck.
from. That is cool.
Right.
When I seen that in a room, I was like, "Is that yours? You skateboarding now?" I was like,
Yeah.
"Hell yeah, dude,
Her
hell
little
yeah,
bro, her little attitude towards you every time.
yeah."
Yeah, it's mine, Steven. Don't touch it.
But yeah, you know, I'd never really had brothers in you know growing up or a whole lot of other male friends,
Right.
and so sort I guess you know sort of my way of reaching out and looking for that was sort of how we met, even though it was through a mutual friend. But
Right.
not even that. It was through our parents at the time, or well,
Yeah.
my stepdad, your mom,
Yeah.
and they're the ones that really sort of introduced us.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I still didn't do the networking.
No, we just slowly. I think there was like a solid like what like 2 years where we were like friends, but definitely not friends. Like we were just like hang out and smoke weed, and then it was like after that it was just like all right, maybe this is like a a, a deep friendship. I think it was probably like one of the like first times one of us was like, "Bro, I'm going through some shit," and instead of you or me, I don't even know who started the whole thing, dude, but instead of you or me saying like, "Oh, well, that fucking sucks," it was like, "Well, let's talk about it,"
Yeah.
because that was definitely like when we started doing that was definitely when I was like, "This man's serious. This man's like life or death with me, bro." Like not even life or death, like literal till death and beyond.
Yeah.
Whatever's in the afterlife, this man will find me.
I'll tell you the same thing that I recently told someone else. You're stuck with me now until you tell me to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And once if you tell me to leave, I'm gonna be like, "You sure? You
Yeah.
sure?"
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you
Well,
a week. You can think about it, and I'm
I
gonna come
like
back.
I like I told you, I got you up under my wing. You ain't going nowhere. You're not allowed to anymore. You know too much. You know way too much. You
I,
can't go nowhere.
I do, bro. Same, vice versa too, man. Like,
like
I
if
think
if
that's another thing too about friends, is once you let them know so much about your life, they can either make your life amazing and like the best it's ever been, or they
hmm
can completely ruin your life.
right, and let's not ruin it.
Yeah, like
Let's not
that's a
ruin it.
trust that it's hard to have with a lot of people.
Right, which I can confidently say neither one of us would do that to each other, negatively impact our lives.
No.
But But that's not to say that, you know, Charles might be a dickhead behind closed doors and ruin your life if y'all are not friends, you know? Sorry to use you as an example, Charles, but
Yeah, I don't think he would, but like, yeah,
he definitely wouldn't, you know?
it's one of those things where it's like you really never know, and you can
Right.
only take someone's word as far
Hmm.
as you can trust them, but it's a trust that you have, and it's
Yeah.
same with like intimate relationships too. It's a trust that you build and you have with someone that you don't quite know.
Right.
You'll never fully know.
Yeah.
You just gotta trust it.
Yeah. Which I'm like could not be more grateful for how far we've came.
Same, dude, same. Because
You
I've
know,
not had this type of like friendship with anyone.
ever, dude.
Yeah,
Not
ever.
like I mean, I've had some close friendships where I'm like hanging out with them every day. We talk about whatever, but it's never been this deep.
Nah.
You know, and we're both still very young, so of course we don't have a lot of life experience when it comes to that. But to confidently say that we have somebody like that is crazy to think about.
Damn. You said young, and I realized that my birthday's coming up.
Yeah, it's very soon. Very soon. He's gonna be 47. No. uh, mentally,
65.
mentally, he's
65,
gonna be
man.
87.
I look good for a
You know,
65-year-old, don't
I, I don't know if we've actually talked about this on the podcast. We might have in relationships,
I?
but
Your
I just want
your
to say it
birthday's
again.
coming up too.
Yeah, it is. So is my wedding anniversary.
But
But
yeah, go ahead.
we might have talked about this, especially in relationships. But it's it's something that sticks with me forever, and I can never help but say something about it. The thing that really like deeply put the relationship that we have into perspective with to me was when you were like, yeah, so I had to do this college paper, and I wrote about you.
I still can't find that paper either.
I Dude, I really wish you could because I want to read it, but that shit hits deep, bro. For your brother to call you, your friend call you and be like, yeah, so I was doing this college paper and that they told me I could write about this and that and I wrote about you. Like, first off, how did you even fit X amount of pages of me into X amount of pages? That's crazy to think about. And then to just be like, damn, you care enough about me to like, okay, you know. So whenever we argue, I'm just like, he wrote about me in his college paper. I can't be mad.
I can't be mad. He was thinking about me.
He loves me. But no, like seriously, jokes aside, like it really like deeply put it into perspective of like, okay, like this is a very deep like brother relationship that we have here. Like this man actually loves me, bro. It doesn't just like, oh yeah, like we hang out, like we're homies. Like it's crazy to think that, you know.
It's funny because that same kind of like energy, that same kind of attention, so to speak, I give the same thing to whoever my partner is,
Right.
right? In a like an intimate relationship, and it's hard to navigate like that sort of trust boundary, especially when it's really young.
Yeah.
Um, but like with ours, it was just like, holy fuck, this is just easy.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could say the same thing about like my, the current situation that I'm going through. It just comes off as natural and easy.
Right. I mean, it's also even crazier to think about it because it's like we weren't always like this, you know.
Nah.
Like generally speaking, for like our relationship, it was never like this for a long time, you know.
Yeah.
If you would have asked us 10 years ago if we were gonna do a podcast about like personal growth, mental health, we probably would have said no.
Or we'd have been like, well, we might think about it.
Yeah. Or we would have been like, nah, we'll do a podcast about this.
Yeah, it'd have been something
You know?
completely different.
And if the answer would have been yes about something like this, it wouldn't have been as deep as it is. It definitely wouldn't have been as deep as it is. We wouldn't have, we wouldn't have like went through that growth that we've gone through, especially together.
You know,
Plus,
I'm glad that we trailed off topic from this because this is sort of a good way to lead up into season
season
2.
2.
Because the next episode is going to be the recap of, this is why we need your feedback, right?
Right.
We're going to take all of that. We're going to see what we've learned from all that we've done here in these past fucking 10 weeks almost. Yeah.
A little like 9 because we're like an episode ahead.
Yeah.
We did 2 in 1 week.
But, give or take like almost 3
Yeah,
months, right?
Yeah, 2-3 months of doing this.
So, I mean, yeah, we've learned a lot.
Yeah.
I've personally learned a lot about myself, about my life.
I've definitely like probably realized it before, but never like realized it on a deeper level until we started doing some of this on some of the things,
Yeah. It's great therapy, man. Great therapy.
It is. That's why I tell everybody, if you want to join it, you don't have to. But if you want to join the Discord and hang out, talk about things you're going through, or even help somebody that's going through something, like it's all on you, but we're never going to force you to do anything you don't want to do.
Or come be a guest.
Right.
You can always do that. We love to hear other people's perspectives.
Season 2 is prime time. Season 2 is prime time. If you really want to talk about some stuff, and not just like, oh, okay, well, y'all already have this planned, we could be like, season 2, episode 4 was this, but this person wants to be a guest and talk about this, so we will change it,
Yeah.
Or push back to episode 5 for you to be on episode 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of what episode it is, but...
I know, Kairos mentioned wanting to be a guest, and I think that might be a perfect time. Maybe episode 1.
Mm-hmm. And, like, the feedback that So only one person so far has even hit me up. But the feedback that I got, like, let's just go ahead and lead the end of this episode into the beginning of episode 10, right? Like, we'll record episode 10 another day, but... the feedback that I got was, like, hey, I think y'all could do this, y'all could do that, which one of the things he said I've already talked to you about, and I told him that you didn't really like the idea of the longer episodes,
Mm-hmm.
Not that you're opposed to them, you just didn't like the idea of them. But he said, where's it at? He said, I'm just gonna like read half of it. I love the topics, the way y'all cover them, and having Skinner on for episode 6 was a big win too. So obviously, people do love the fact that we have an extra person in here for like another set of feedback. And me and him have both talked about episode 6 specifically a lot of times because Skinner was one hell of a guest, and I would have him again multiple times if we had to.
Yeah.
Because when we started that episode, Skinner was like, I'll just kind of be like a background person. Like, I'll put in some input here and there, but I'll just be a background person. And we were both like, no, you will not be a background person. You will be putting in input. Like, we want you to put in input. And this man was hitting us with shit that we obviously didn't think about, putting things into different perspectives. Because, like we say all the time, everybody has different experiences. So, Skinner's looking at things completely different from how me and him look at it. Because there's a lot of things that me and him look at the same.
Mm-hmm.
But Skinner doesn't look at it that way, Like, what did he say, bro? He said something about, like, you can read the writing on the wall thing. Oh, my gosh.
Well,
go back and watch episode 6, bro.
I was about to say, I'm going to go back over this next week, and I'm going to rewatch a lot of the episodes and kind of write down key notes of things that I want to talk about in the recap and stuff.
Right.
But, yeah, you're definitely right. Skinner brought
a lot
of stuff to the table that I don't think he realized.
Yeah, that episode 6 was my favorite for sure. But yeah, with that being said, get ready for episode 10 and then get ready for season 2.
Yep. Yep.
Do not know how we'll start off season 2, but we know that it is definitely going to be a like self-therapy season.
Yeah. There might be a
So
general idea of what we, of a topic,
right.
but more than likely when the stream goes up, you won't see the topic. When the episode goes up, you'll probably get the general topic, but
Right, yeah. The topics are usually the titles, but
yeah.
you know. So get ready for episode 10. We'll do who knows how long that'll be. It'll be a nice little recap of this season. So if your question was how long are the seasons going to be, 10 episodes.
Yeah.
So
Give or take, right? It really just depends on how the season's going. I feel like for this first one, 10 was a good
yeah.
good
So needless to
stopping
say.
point. So
Needless to say, season 2 is going to be a less of a how to and more of a here's what, you know?
yeah, and
Like,
probably
yeah.
why.
Right, you know? Yeah, we'll use our season 1's learnings to realize what we could have done better in some of those situations.
Yeah.
What have you. But
yeah, in the meantime, shoot us feedback.
please give us some feedback. We want to hear it.
We
You
need
don't
something,
even have
right?
to.
Because we're sitting here judging ourselves and what we can, and we can't always do that.
Like, here's what I'm gonna do, right? I'm gonna make another channel, because if you don't want to DM us, or whatever reason, you know, I will make a feedback channel specifically for everybody to be in that Discord to put in feedback,
Yeah.
and put it in at any time, even if we're not asking for it. Put it in at any time. You know,
if there was something that you didn't like for the episode or whatever.
or if you just wanted to add something, like, hey, y'all could have talked about this in episode whatever. Do it before we do the recap.
Yeah, and we'll
You
talk
know?
about it in the recap.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, feedback. If you want to be a guest, please let us know. We really want guests on the show. This is not just our conversation. This is all of our conversation, like the viewers
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, this is we, not me and him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. That's about all I got.
It is about all I got.
All right. Well,
I love each and every one of you. Thank you for listening. I'm going to say that every time. That is my slogan. I love each and every one of you. Be a better person than you were today. And I'll see you guys on the recap.
love you. Bye.
Love you, bye.